All right, so today we're going to come into a seated cross-legged position. Okay, so just bringing that right shin in front of the left. And if this is hard, you can always prop yourself up onto a blanket or something else to kind of get your butt up. But otherwise, I want you to just kind of let your legs relax down. We're going to start to walk the hands forward over the shins. Okay, so if you can see, my feet are pretty close towards my knees. Feels like one shin's in front of the other, so it's not quite crossing your ankles, right? It's not that crisscross applesauce. And as you walk the hands forward and fold over, let your belly come towards your thighs, let your head relax down towards the floor, let your chin drop towards your chest. And just kind of use your arms like little posts here. They're just going to press into the floor. And I want you to feel like your sit bones are anchoring back towards the floor. And then take 3 or 4 really big breaths into the back side of the ribs. So let the chin really come towards your chest so you're elongating all the muscles along the spine. And then pick up your head and chest and walk your hands over towards your left knee. So you're just slightly angled over that left thigh. And you're going to walk the right hand a little farther out. Keep walking those fingers away from you at a diagonal. And then sink back into that right sit bone. Try to feel nice and heavy there. And I pressed my right hand down so that I can feel almost this traction and a little bit of pull through the right side. And take a couple breaths there. Good. Walk yourself back to center. Come all the way back upright, and then we're going to take the left hand planted out to the side, and you're just going to walk those fingertips out as you bring the right arm over your ear. So we're folding over to the left. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, start to rotate your chest towards the floor like you're going to plant that right hand down on the ground, but you're not. You're just going to rotate, and then we're going to inhale and open back up to the side of the road. So I want you to use this left arm as your kind of support system, and then you're going to feel your arm bone have to rotate to take the rib cage to face the floor. And then you're going to press into the hand and open back up to the side of the room. Again, kind of just pivoting on that left arm bone. So just give me maybe 2 more like this. That right sit bone's nice and heavy. 1 more. Just rotating, that left arm stays nice and straight. Open. And now you're going to take that right arm and you're going to thread it under the left as you rotate. So you're going to rotate towards the floor, thread that right arm under and reach. And then rotate back open. Just 1 more like that. Exhale, rotate and reach. And back open. Good. Swim all the way back up. And let's switch the legs. Left leg's going to come in front. Shins feel pretty parallel, best you can. Feet are over by the knees and the ankles are not crossed. Walking those hands forward. You shouldn't feel any pain in the knees. If you do, you can try flexing into the feet, maybe even walking the feet a little bit closer together. Then hopefully you feel a little bit more resistance in that left hip, right? The leg that's in front. So posting up on those hands, we're going to take maybe 3 big breaths here. Trying to fill up the lungs, fill up the back of the ribs, fill up the kidney space, and a little back. Let the chin fall towards your chest, and your head's heavy on your neck. Good, then pick up your head and shoulders and walk yourself over to the right. So now we're just going to post up a little bit over that right thigh. My belly button's trying to angle towards the right thigh. I'm going to walk that left hand a little farther out away from me at that diagonal from the body. And again, I'm going to fold down. So I've got this feeling now with my left hand planted and then my left hip sinking away from the hand back down towards the floor. I'm gonna try to breathe into the left lung. Create a little space. One more. Good. Walk yourself back into center. Walk yourself back up. And we'll just walk the right hand out to the side as the left arm comes up and over the ear. So I want to try to make sure that these right ribs are really coming forward. Left ribs are rolling back. I feel kind of like I'm in between two panes of glass here. Another big inhale. Exhale. So try to feel like this right arm is kind of nice and nestled in the shoulder joint. And we're gonna exhale, press into the hand as you rotate the rib cage towards the floor, reaching that left arm long. And then you're gonna inhale and open back up to the side of the room. Exhale, rotate. Maybe take notice, does this feel the same, different than the other side? This side for me feels a lot less rotation, so I know this is my stickier, more challenging side. I'm gonna try to work through that. Try to create some more space and length. Inhale, open. One more like that. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, open. And here's where we're gonna reach under. Exhale, rotate, reach that left arm through the right. Inhale all the way back up and open. One more. And inhale back open. And all the way back up, slow. Good job. All right, hands and knees. Cat and cow. Place those hands nice and wide on the floor. Give yourself good space between each finger. And you're gonna round as you press into the ground. And then we're gonna lift the spine, lift the chest and sit bones. Flex them around. Inhale, lift and extend. Two more like that. One. Last round. Good. Try to find that neutral spine, but keep just a little bit of this lift of the low belly. Okay, so we're not quite all the way in that cat pose, but you do feel that your pubic bone's coming towards your belly button. Turn on that low belly, tuck the toes, and just cover those knees. Slowly sending those legs back into plank. Looking forward, shoulders down out of the ears. Really try to take that tailbone towards your heels. And then from here, we're gonna just lift your hips up and back like we're going into downward facing dog. And you're gonna hinge yourself back forward into plank. So I'm gonna try to create this feeling of curling. Can you pull the belly up, tail goes through your legs, pubic bone to your belly button, as you press into your hands and lift your hips up and back. And then I want you to feel like you come forward, rounding, almost like that angry Halloween cat. And then right around when you get into your plank, you're gonna curl your head, your chest, and your shoulders forward, tail towards your heels, belly up and back. So I just want you to really take this out of the hip flexors the best you can, and put it into your low belly, and find a little bit of rounding into the back. Let's get just one more like that. Pull the belly up, 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 up. Reach those sit bones up and back. And exhale, curling forward, rounding all the way forward. And then once you get to that plank, this kind of uncurling action of the head, shoulders, and chest, tail towards your heels. Good. Lower those knees. We're gonna go for a few chaturanga push-ups. Elbows slowly touching those ribs. We're gonna take this one slow and then pushing back up. So I wanna try to get maybe a 3 count here. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1. Press back up. 3, 2, 1. Good. Down, slow, pause, press, slow, up. Couple more. Slow, 2, 1. Pressing back. 3, 2, 1. One more. Going down, slow on the elevator. Pressing back, slow, up. All the way to the floor this time. Slow, 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 and down. Good job. Take the tops of the feet onto the floor. Roll the heads, the shoulders up and away from the ground. And then just hover those hands right under your elbows. Now, can we just keep that squeezing up and back of the elbows and the heads, the shoulders lifting away from the floor. Holding here. Try to lift a little bit away from the ground with your back muscles. So try not to just push into your belly button. Instead, I want you to anchor down into your pubic bone and then see if you can send those hands all the way back behind you, palms to face the ceiling. And now as the palms are facing the ceiling, we're gonna sweep the hands wide, turn them to face the floor, and then right about halfway, like a wingspan, you're gonna turn them to face the ceiling. Then we're gonna swing them all the way back, right around your T, you're gonna turn them to the floor, and then right around your hips, you're gonna turn them back up to the ceiling. So I'm gonna get this full circle with the arm bone, all the way forward, turning, all the way back, turning. So imagine someone's gonna give you something behind you, and then you're gonna reach forward and someone's gonna give you something in front. Let's take first a few more like this, nice and slow movements. I want you to really get the movement of the arm bone in that joint. Again, check in with your core. Can you get the back muscles to lift you up and not your belly? And if you want to lift your legs, you can. Good, let's go for 2 more. Last round. Good job. Bend those elbows, place those hands right under them. Tuck the toes. We're going to child's pose, so push yourself slowly back up to the knees. Send your hips back, round over your thighs. Feel the spine flex. Big inhale. Exhale. Look forward, we're gonna tuck the toes, pick up the shins parallel to the ground. Here are our little pulses here. Just pulsing and waking up those thighs. Arms are like posts pressing back into the shoulder blades to support your body here so you can feel kind of buoyant. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it, squeeze the thighs together. Little pulses with the thighs together. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alternate, parallel, together. Parallel, together. Separate the knees, bring them together. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Parallel, back to down dog. Pedal the feet. Switch the legs. Let's take that right leg up and back. Inhale, lengthen it to the back of the room. Find some space here as you reach the toes back. Press the hands forward. Let your neck be long. And then exhale, bring that right knee to the right elbow. Hold. Get it up high. Turn the chest forward. Can you take it over to the left elbow? Hold. Get it up. Step it in between your hands. Place it lightly. And then we're going to lower that left knee. Let the hips fall forward for a moment. All right, pressing back upright, you're gonna come over the left knee, so you're kind of in that 90-degree bend in both the hips and the knee. And then we're gonna take the right hand to the right hip, left arm's gonna go over the ear, and we're gonna side bend over to the right. Now, if you wanna let the hips fall forward a little bit, that's fine, but just really keep that low belly engaged. Keep breathing into that left side. One more inhale. Exhale. Inhale, upright, hands to the hips. Place that right foot, tuck those back toes. Press into the feet. I want you to feel your glute turn all on that right side before you even come up. So you're gonna start to press down to the right foot, left toes, and then hover that left knee. Okay, so from here, you should kind of be in this shortened lunge, right? I've got my left thigh pretty far forward in that nice bend. I'm gonna keep my pelvis right where it is. I start to lengthen the left heel back. Inhaling, arms are gonna come up. I'm gonna exhale, bend those elbows, lift my chest, try to squeeze my elbows behind me to touch, and then I'm gonna circle those arms forward and bring my belly button back. So now I just kind of create this little, what I want to feel like a cat spine. Now I'm gonna inhale, lengthen the tail, extend the chest up, exhale, bend those elbows behind you. So not in a little bit of a back bend, but as I circle those arms forward, I wanna feel like I'm in that flexing of the spine, like a cat. Inhale, up, bend. Here's kind of your cow pose, right? You got a little bit of arch. Then you got a little bit of a rounding. It won't look like much, but it should feel like a lot. Just give me 3 more like this. Last 2. One more. Good. Straighten that left leg, hover over your right thigh. So really wrap this right sit bone into the center. Feel straight through your left leg. And now we're gonna take those arms wide like a T. If it's too much of the arms wide, you can take them to cactus arms. But we're gonna twist. Don't drop your left hip as you turn to the right. Take your arms wide, and then center, and then we're gonna go to the left. Again, I'm trying not to move my hips here. I'm trying to move just from my rib cage. Really cinch in the core. I want you to feel like your belly is hugging your spine, like you're putting on that tight corset or those tight pants. Good, let's go. 4. 3. 2. 1 more round. 1. 1. Good. Little pulses, arms are out wide like a T. Don't drop your head and neck. Little pulse of the right leg. Halfway up and down, just a couple inches. Okay, so that left leg stays straight. I'm just bending, and then like just a couple inches up with the right leg. Here's 7, 6, push into the foot. 5, so you get the thigh parallel, then up. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna come all the way up to standing. Whew. Bring that left knee into your chest. Grab that knee with your hands. Holding up here, I want you to squeeze that right leg straight. Can you squeeze your glute? Hold. Okay, hands can come to the hips. Holding here, we've got that left thigh. I want to keep it upright, and we're just gonna try to kick the leg forward and in. Straighten, bend. All right, so we're trying to keep this left thigh up as high as you can keep it. Use your belly here. Can you tilt your tail a little bit towards the floor? Feel like your hip bones are hugging in. Good, just give me 3, 2. Hold that leg out, arms come up. Reach it, little kick of that left leg up, up, up. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing that left leg all the way back, step into the back of the mat. Turn yourself to the side for our warrior 2 stance. Arms come out to the T. Good, so try to find some length here in the front of that left thigh now. I want you to feel like your hips are turned to the side of your mat, and there should be no crease here at that left hip. Good. Now from here, we're just gonna do little pulses on the right thigh. So my knee is staying behind my toes, right? Right knee is gonna stay behind your toes. But can you push into the right heel enough that you feel this at that sit bone, that right sit bone? I want you to feel it squeeze the bone, the muscle around that sit bone. I want you to feel that glute squeeze the bone. And I want you to do these little light pulses here. Good. Give me 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the leg all the way straight and back in. All the way straight and in. Good. So each time, I want you to kind of feel like this finds some length, right? It should feel like some change is happening here in that left hip as far as just feeling some opening. That right knee is going over that second toe. Let's just go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Last thing, we're just going to lift the heel of the right foot, lower it. Lift it, lower it. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up, just hold that heel up. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, lower the heel. Windmill those arms down on either side of that right foot. Take your time, press the hands down and step back to your plank. All right, we're gonna come on to that right forearm. Angle it a little bit towards the corner of your mat. Turn your body. You can stack your legs, go ahead, or you can have them staggered one in front of the other. We're gonna lift that left arm up and reach it over the ear. Holding, lifting the hips. Maybe you can float that left foot up off the floor or off of your leg. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch it. Left side. Take it up. Reach that right arm over the ear. Keep the hips lifting. Can you float that right foot? Here we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way back to forearm plank. Get on those forearms. Get your tail down. If you need to, you can always come to your knees. Chest is forward. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the belly come down. Let the hips rest. Tops of the feet untuck. Curl the chest forward. Let the belly come away from the floor a little bit. Shoulders down out of the ears. Good. Bend the left knee in. Just reach back with that left hand so you can pull the heel in towards your butt. Reach back. Right side. Let it go. Hands under those elbows, tuck the toes, press back to child's pose, so round over the sides. Let's do the other side. Tuck your toes, pick up the hips. Left leg's gonna come up and back. Inhale, lengthen back, reach those toes to the back of the room, press the palms down and forward, let your head be soft and relaxed. On that exhale, we're gonna bring it all the way forward. Hold that left elbow at the left knee at the left elbow. Take it to the right elbow. Take it to the center, set it between the hands, let the right knee come down. Hips are falling forward. So I got left foot in front, right leg back. Give me just 2 breaths here. All right, we're gonna slide ourselves back enough that you've got this kind of 90-degree bend at both knees. And then we're gonna take that left hand to the hip, right arm up the ear, and side bend over to the left. You can let the hips fall forward a little bit if you're gonna make sure that you keep that low back nice and long. Take one more big breath. All right, coming back upright, hands to the hips, press down into the back toes, press into your foot. So if you need to like scoot your legs a little closer, go ahead. But I want you to feel a lot of power in the feet before you press up. Zip up the core, press down, hover that right shin. Okay, from here we're gonna keep this upright pelvis, right? Don't let it tilt forward, keep it here. Start to lengthen the right heel back, doesn't have to go back far. Inhale, arms up. This is that circles, right? So as the arms come up, I'm gonna lift the chest, elbows are gonna bend, they're gonna try to tap behind me and letting that leg straighten behind me. And then I'm gonna pull that belly button back as I circle the arms forward. And it feels like it pulls my pubic bone up to my belly button. Inhale, lengthen, lift the chest, elbows squeeze together. And then exhale, pull the pubic bone up to your belly button. Feel that stretch in the front of the right thigh. Good, 3 more. Last one. Good. Reach your chest forward over that left thigh, straighten the right leg. So I want you to feel like your left sit bone now is really turned on to hold this leg in place. You still feel pretty nice and light in the legs, right? We're not sinking into our left hip. You're gonna feel upright and lifted up out of the pelvis. Arms are gonna come wide to a T. Watch what happens with your head. It wants to drop sometimes, so try to keep it in line with your spine. We're gonna slowly rotate to the left, trying not to turn our hips with us. And then back to center. And then rotate to the right. Again, not turning the hips with you. Center. Exhaling. Inhale to center. Exhale, rotate again. So use that exhale to draw the ribs in and find a little bit more twist with the musculature, right? We're not having to force this. This is just a healthy, normal range of motion that our muscles can allow for. Good. Let's go for 5. 4. 3. Feel that right heel reaching back. 2. Last round. Good, holding here, arms to the T. Little pulses. That left thigh is doing the work here. So the right leg's staying the same. I'm pushing through the heel of my left foot to just get this little bounce. You should feel this all happening at that sit bone still. It's still squeezing, it's still activated. Here we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here. We're gonna come all the way upright. So hands come to the hips. You're gonna bring that right knee up into the chest and stand yourself all the way up. Squeeze into that left glute now. You wanna feel that left hip open up. Hands can just hold here. And I want you to try to make sure your pelvis feels pretty level from side to side. So watch that you're not hiking up that right hip. We're picking up the thigh from that hip flexor and the quads. And now we're gonna kick it forward. Okay, so we're gonna kick it all the way straight, bend. Kick it all the way straight, bend. Can you keep that right thigh up as you straighten? And can you keep this left leg really straight? It's gonna wanna bend. I want you to keep it straight. Let's go 4, 3, 2, hold it out straight, get those arms up, really lengthen, little kicks. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly hinging that right leg all the way to the back of the mat, warrior 2. All right, so again, I want to try to find some length here, right? And you feel how your right thigh kind of has a nice flat feeling in the front now. Left knee is going to bend. Check that left knee is going over that second toe. And I'm trying to bring my left hip around a little bit. All right, so here's our little pulses, right? Real small. Again, I want you to feel the sit bone on that left side, doing some of this work. My right leg is straight, it's anchored into the floor. My left thigh is doing the bouncing. Good, just check that left knee is going straight over those toes, not letting it buckle in. Good, just a couple more here. Here's 6, that's a little more than a couple, sorry. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go all the way straight, all the way in. All the way straight, and bend. Push, and bend. If you've got popping or clicking or things happening in the hip and you need to readjust, try just shifting your pelvis a little bit. Maybe it tilts a little forward, a little bit back. But usually that's just that leg bone kind of clicking in the hip joint or over some ligaments. And it takes a small minor adjustment to change it. Let's get 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold yourself nice and low. Here we go with this little lifted the left heel, lower. Lift, lower, lift, lower. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up, hold it up, hold it up. Place it down. Windmill those hands down on either side of that left foot. This time we're going to step the right foot forward, and you're just going to have a seat all the way down onto your butt. Legs are going to go out to about a 3/4 length bend. And we're going to tuck the tail and roll back about halfway. Now you can have your hands forward, you can put them to your ears. It's a little harder the farther, closer they get to your body. A little easier the farther away. So for this, we're tucking that tail under and just doing these little pulses. So most of this is happening from my pelvis. It's tilting back. My waistband is going towards the floor. But I'm trying to eliminate leaning back with my head and shoulders, right? They're trying to stay the same. My ribs feel like they're dropping down to touch my hips. I'm going to press down into my heels and squeeze the knees together. Good. Here it goes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Now I'm going to take my whole upper body back and up. A little back, a little up. Here's 8, 7, 6. If your back is doing all the work, come back up, readjust, really tuck your tail under and find that C curve in the spine. Last one, hold it back. Here's where we're going to rotate. So you can keep your arms in a circle or they can be at your ears. We're going to twist to the left, center, right, center. Left, right. Can you keep those knees squeezed together in the middle and try not to let them shift from side to side. Good, a couple more like that. All right, next one we're going to stay to the right. Stay to the right. We're just going to twist here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it. Little back and up. Stay in the rotation. Little lift up and down. Here we go for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Center all the way to the left. Here we go, our little twist to the left. 10, 9, 8. Steady those knees. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it. Little back and up. Just a couple inches. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way back up through center. And you're gonna roll all the way down onto your back. We're gonna grab a foam roller. Sorry, I don't have the piece, I'm gonna grab mine real quick. If you don't have your foam roller, go grab it. And we're gonna come onto the floor. So we're gonna start with this guy under our shoulders. When you lie down on your back, I want you to feel like you can have that kind of planted on the shoulder blades. And then you're gonna reach those arms up, just kind of feel that you can move the shoulder blades. They can make a little contact, or maybe they're just over the back side of that foam roller. So mine can kind of still hit the foam roller here. I'm gonna hold the hands in my head in my hands, elbows are gonna go wide. And I wanna try and keep this low belly feeling like it's hammocking down towards the ground. So I'm not gonna do a big arch in my low back. I'm gonna just try to open the upper back. So head's heavy in the hands press back towards the floor as the head's pushing the hands away. And then I'm gonna curl back up. Just a couple like this. Inhale, lengthen back, let the head relax. And up. And it probably doesn't look like very much, but it should feel like a lot. Our upper back doesn't really bend backwards very easily. Doesn't have very far to go. So we're just trying to open up a little bit of the front of the spine. Last one. Good, now bring your head and shoulders back up just enough that you feel like they're supported and you've got your core turned on. Place your feet firmly on the ground, lift the hips. And now we're gonna roll the roller to the top of the shoulders, down to about the base of the shoulder blades of the bra line. Okay, we're gonna keep the elbows a little bit wide for this. Now, we're just staying pretty heavy on both sides, so it should feel pretty even in your weight distribution at this moment. But next, I want to bring your elbows in close towards your face. Keep them squeezing in, stay in the center. And we're going to now just slightly lean your weight to the left. So it's not a lot, but you're just taking your elbows and maybe turning them about 10 or 20 degrees to the left. So you just feel a little bit more weight on the left side of your spine. Good, back to center, and now just a little bit to the right. So again, not by much, just maybe like 10 or 15 degrees to the right. Feels a little more pressure on that side. Good, back in the center. And place your hips back down. All right, bring that roller in. We're gonna come under the arm. So we're gonna be on your ribs. And you're gonna be just below that armpit. Okay, so I'm not facing perfectly to the side. I'm gonna just slightly angle my body upwards a little bit, not by much. Now, I'm gonna keep my feet and my hips on the floor. I've got this under my right side, and my left knee is what's like a little kickstand. And my elbow's gonna float, and I'm gonna just push into my foot and kind of tilt my hips side to side so that I can move that foam roller up and down, kind of catching a little bit of the outer part of my shoulder blade and my armpit and a little bit of my ribs. It's not going very far, but it should feel like there's a lot of feedback right around that shoulder blade because we're catching some of the lats, some of the rotator cuff. Just maybe a couple more little rolls here. Good. Now, just angling it slightly upwards, you can get all the breast tissue on the side of the foam roller. And see if you can maybe just get your armpit to feel like it can go flat on the foam roller. And that left leg can kind of just slide back behind you a little bit so that you can really turn your whole chest towards the floor. Now I've got my right arm kind of cactus armed out. And as I've got my chest pinned on the foam roller, I'm going to see if I can just lift my arm away from the floor and then lower it down. So I'm going to pick that right arm up away from the ground and lower. Should feel like that foam roller's got some pressure there at the chest muscle. And when you lift that arm, it should feel like it slightly intensifies or just creates a little more pressure into them. Just give me 2 more lifts like that. Last one. Good. Let's take it to the other side so you can just roll on over to the left. So I'm going to have that foam roller kind of under my armpit on the side of my body where the ribs are. And I'm going to just tilt my chest a little bit up towards the ceiling and the wall connection, right? Right foot's on the floor now. I'm going to lift my elbows so that I can do this little kind of Hawaiian hula dancery tilting of my hips side to side, which helps to encourage the foam roller to move up and down. It should be catching a little bit of the outer portion of that shoulder blade and a little bit of the ribs. If it's too intense, you can always just sit and breathe with it like it is, not moving. But if you want the movement, go for it. Maybe one more little pass. Okay, place that elbow down. Angle that foam roller slightly, so now my chest is on the foam roller. It kind of feels like it's this webbing between the armpit, the shoulder, the sternum. It's kind of like armpit webbing. That's what's pressing down into the foam roller. And again, I've got that left arm now kind of cactused out. My right leg's just going to reach back to help encourage this towards this rotation towards the floor. And then we're going to lift the left arm. So I'm going to hover it, put it back down. Hover it, back down. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, coming up, we're gonna go to the glutes. So we're gonna sit on this. Let's go on that left butt cheek since we're already on the left side. And I'm gonna prop myself up with my left hand. So for this one, both feet are gonna be on the floor. I'm not facing the ceiling, right? I'm slightly angled, so I'm mostly on that left cheek. My feet are gonna be doing the moving of my hips. So I'm gonna drag myself towards my heels and back. So since this is a foam roller, it should be a nice big flat swath that's getting the whole glute, right? I wanna feel like we're kind of hitting that whole compartment of the butt cheek. Just rolling it up and down. Now see if you can even get yourself to roll up towards the waistband of your pants, towards the top rim of your pelvis, and back to this greater trochanter. So if you can think of it being kind of like your hip bone up to your waistband. And again, slightly hitting the side back of the butt, right? So it's a little bit of the side and the back, but not fully the back and not fully the side. A little bit of the, if you can imagine like your hips like a box, we'd be hitting kind of the back corner of the box. Now, I want you to try to find somewhere in that region that gives you something like some feedback, right? It talks to you a little bit. Like maybe there's a spot right here that you're like, ooh, I'm gonna sit right here and just kind of micro roll, little tiny roll here. And that can be anywhere along that whole hip compartment. And if that feels good and you can pause there, you can pause. We're gonna just straighten that left leg out, sit with it for a moment. And then we're just gonna do little lifts of this left leg. So I just want you to think of little lifting of the left leg. Good. Couple more. Good. You can bend that knee again. And we'll take it over to the right side. So now you're just gonna turn yourself to face a little more to the right. So again, I'm slightly angled. I'm mostly on that right cheek now, and it's a little bit of the right cheek and the outer right hip. I'm gonna post up on that right hand. Make your feet, do the work here. They should be nice and wide. Try not to like be challenging yourself with just the balance work. So get those legs to feel like good support systems here. And we're just rolling this ball from pretty much the top of your leg bone to kind of the top of the pelvis, or maybe even just below it. And this should feel good. It shouldn't be too painful. If it's too painful, you might have too firm of a foam roller. Give me just 2 more passes through here. Good. Find that little spot. There's probably somewhere along the way that gives you a little more feedback than the rest. And we'll just do these little baby micro rolls. Okay, now we're going to stay there. Just slide that right leg straight. Hold it there. And now here comes those little lifts. Okay, just little tiny kicks. Let's just go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, coming off of that, onto the front of the thighs. We're going to just hit both thighs so that we can get right to the point. We're going to roll it from basically like the top of your quad towards your knees. And this one we're going to come onto our forearms. So if it's too much, you can try just doing one leg at a time, but for time's sake, I'm going to do both. So we're tucking the toes underneath, you're on your forearms, kind of a forearm plank. And I'm going to roll that foam roller up the thighs. I'm going to stay away from the crease of the hip. I'm just going to stop right around my pubic bone. And then I'm going to roll to the top of my knees, not to the knee bones, but just the knee, like right above the kneecaps, and then back. So you may notice that some areas are more tender than others. I definitely feel this more the closer I get to my knees. So we're going to just be very aware of that and be calm, patient, tender, and loving as we roll. So let's just go for a couple more right in the middle here. Make sure you're not sagging in your low back, right? You still got core engagement here. Now I want you to just slightly turn your knees to the right. So now you should be a little bit on the outer portion of that left quad and the inner portion of the right. I'm going to do the same thing. It's not a lot of turn, just a little bit. So you should feel like you're just hitting a little bit of different tissue there. Okay, let's turn it just a little bit to the left. So now I'm hitting a little bit of the inner left thigh and the outer right. Good, let's get one more pass through here. Good. Now just go back to the center where you feel like you're kind of hitting the middle of the quads. Find a place somewhere along the thigh that you can hold and manage. It doesn't feel too intense, so don't go to your most talked about spot. And then we're just gonna alternate bending the knee. So we're gonna take the right heel of the butt, straighten it back out. Left heel of the butt, and out. Just alternating back and forth. Good, one more round. Perfect. All right, last thing we're gonna do is the SI joint. So you're gonna lay down on your back. We're gonna place this under the pelvis. So I'm gonna bend my knees, place the feet on the floor, lift my hips gently, and slide that foam roller under my pelvis. So if I bring my hands onto my hips, so bring your hands onto your hips and grab for your hip bones, right? You can kind of pinch right above them and feel these 2 front hip bones and kind of walk your thumbs around to the back side and feel where the top of your pelvis is there. So we're gonna be below those thumbs and you're gonna pick your knees up, and it should feel like when you kind of tilt your knees from right to left, that you should feel like you're kind of hitting that little transition point in the pelvis where the pelvis comes into your sacrum, right? So there's kind of like two little knobby spots on either side that probably give you a little bit of feedback there. But again, I'm below the top of my pelvis, and if I touch my front hip bones, I'm probably just gonna come right around to the back and be on the foam roller at that point, because they're a little lower. Okay, you can have your arms by your side, you can hold on to your foam roller, but we're gonna take the knees just a little bit to the right till you feel like you're on that kind of knobby spot where the SI joint is, right? It should feel like there's some different feeling and feedback there, some different tissue. Now, once you get there, we're just gonna march our knees real light and real small, back and forth. So they're coming in and out. So what we're doing here is just put a little pressure at that joint and trying to create a little movement in space. Sometimes it gets locked up. We want it to have just enough movement that it can support the weight distribution in the body. All right, pause. Now just your right knee is gonna make little circles. They don't have to be very big, they're small, and they shouldn't be painful. If it's real painful, then maybe don't bring your knees so far to the side, maybe find another spot. If it's really painful, we don't wanna be here. Let's reverse our circle. Good, bring the knees back to center. If you feel like you got off center here, you can readjust. And then we're gonna just drop the knees slightly to the left. So it doesn't go very far. I can feel it right about here, and it's not even 45-degree angle, probably about 20 degrees. All right, little marches. And the whole time I'm kind of still hammocking that low back towards the floor. So just watch that you're not in a big back bend here. All right, pause that right leg, and that left leg's now just gonna make those little circles. Okay. Let's reverse. Good, back together, back to center. Make sure you're centered on the ball. Make sure your pelvis feels like it's tilting towards your chest. You're gonna hug your left knee in towards your belly, and we're gonna sneak that right leg all the way out. Maybe it can go straight, maybe it stays a little bent, but we're gonna try to let the heel come to the floor, and you're just gonna relax. Okay, so if the leg wants to flop open, that's fine. But I want you just to feel that right leg get heavy. Just take a breath or two here. And then we're gonna switch it to the right knee in, left leg straightens. Give yourself just another breath or two there. And you can stay here as long as you like. You can do any more rolling you gotta do, but otherwise you guys are done. Good job.